Hello?
Always ready.
Awesome. Hello. Oh, wait. Oh, no, we're. Oh, wait. So, wait. Sorry. Am I supposed to be muted right now? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
What?
Start with blood.
Sing this everywhere in your home.
At Temple Beth-El, just sing with us.
הנה מה טוב
ומה נעים, שברכים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שברכים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שברכים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שברכים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שברכים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שברכים גם יחד.
What a blessing to be here. Can you hear me? Can you all hear?
Start again.
Okay, start again. Yeah. Shabbat Shalom all. To Cantor Lappin, Rabbi Malbaum, awesome. To Rabbi Tara, to the Podwall family, a handful of you who are here. I want to say that this morning is going to be perfect, because perfect holds not just what is exactly the way we want things to be, but that which can't be what we might have imagined. It's perfect even though family and friends are not in the room. It's perfect even though the cantor and the rabbi are not in the room. It's perfect even though there's not going to be a big party. But I think there's something perfectly blessed to get to bring in this incredible moment of you, Mr. Jacob Podwall, becoming a Jewish adult, having your sister and parents, grandparents near you, 2 out of 3 anyway. And we're praying hard that all the technology is going to be perfect. But even if there is a glitch, it's nothing compared to what the world has faced in the last days and weeks and months. And we have come so far together. And the work that we've done in a chavrut, in partnership and friendship and in our Jewish living has been really holy and meaningful and blessed. And so to get to share this first of it's not post-corona, what do we call it? First in this corona period where we get to be in our prayer space together, celebrate, really making a morning of celebration. It's such a blessing. It's actually weird. I'm realizing maybe I should be looking straight into the screen, but for those of you who are wondering why I'm looking away, because the pod walls are 30 feet away and a little bit to my left. Anyway.
And just thinking about the fact that it was so important to you to keep this date, to be in this space, to stretch yourselves to make the technology work. And to me, there is just so much love of family, of Judaism, of getting it about what this moment means. The way you have stretched yourself to enable this sacred moment is incredibly moving. And that's the perfect piece. And nothing else really matters. It's the kavana, it's the intention and the love and the joy at this milestone in community. And it is really a communal moment in a whole new way. So it's a joy to be here with you this morning, even if you can't entirely hear our faces. Hear our faces, you can hear our faces.
That's right.
Let's turn to page 76, singing the blessings that begin our day, blessings for the physical body. What a blessing it is to be healthy, to have the opportunity to preserve health, and to acknowledge the miracle of the human body. 76.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who formed the human body with skill, creating the body's many pathways and openings. It is well known before your throne of glory that if one of them be wrongly opened or closed, it would be impossible to endure and stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously. Baruch atah Adonai, rofei chol basar umafli la'asot. We'll continue on page 78, offering gratitude for our souls.
Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata teorai. Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata Ata verata, ata yitzarta, ata nefachta bi, ve'ata mishamra bekirbi. Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi. Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi tehorai.
I'm not, no, you don't do anything. I unmuted myself. Yep. We turn to page 80. Are you there? I didn't even see you. We turn to page 80, this series of blessings, miracles, nisim. We actually, I'm realizing, sang these together, Jacob, you and Rebecca and I in Jerusalem, standing at the Kotel. And if there is ever a season, a period of time, a quarter almost, maybe, I guess it is a quarter, in which we feel so incredibly grateful for waking up in the morning and every tiny little detail, little function in our body that's working, we have reason to throw a party. Every time I see little Judah, like throw a party. Yay, Judah. But I think that little feeling could be part of the, oh, yeah, speak up. Speak up. You tell me. Can you say it? Okay, good. We haven't actually, we didn't think to practice this piece in advance. So this is a series of blessings, and every day we offer these blessings. If it's an invitation that connects, each of them connects to so many little details of our bodies, our eyes, our mouth, our ability to stand, our ability to put on a belt, to have clothing, to walk on the ground. So many reasons to thank. So we will offer these on page 80. Feel free in your own homes to offer a rousing amen, a loud amen after each blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan l'sechri bina l'avchin ben yom uben laila.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam,
Who opens the eyes of the blind.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Page 82. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes and slumber from the eyelids.
Amen. 84. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew, or whatever spiritual path I follow.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor.
Amen. 86.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah.
Amen.
And we have the opportunity to engage with words of Torah together on page 88. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer and making peace among people, but the study of Torah encompasses them all. We'll continue now on page 108 of our prayer books with Baruch Hu. We invite you to rise if you are able.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Yalalai lai lai, 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 yalalai lai lai,
On page 10, we acknowledge with wonder and gratitude the transitions between night and day and night, and God as creator who establishes those differences. Together on 110, praised are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy, you illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness, you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai. In wisdom, you formed them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai, our God, for the excellent work of your hands and for the lights you created. May they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights.
Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMeorot. And we continue in the middle of page 112. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion, on account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life. Be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. And we continue with the Hebrew. V'harereneinu b'toratecha, v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha, v'yached levaveinu le'ahava u'yira et shemecha, v'lo nevosh, v'lo nikalem, v'lo nikashel, le'olam va'ed, ki v'shem שם קודשך הגדול והנורא בתוכנו נגילה ונשמחה נגילה ונשמחה לישועתך והביאנו לשלום מארבע כנפות הארץ ותוליכנו קומיות לארצנו כי אל פועל ישועות אתה ובנו בחרת וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול סלע באמת להודות לך ולעבדך באהבה ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה. Jacob, please unmute yourself before
We
you
continue now with Jacob leading us in the Shema, page
make
1.
sure that he's
14.
unmuted.
He got it.
Oh, got it. Good.
Should be, yep. Can you hear me now? Good. United.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, Bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher nochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlatecha v'derech u'shokvecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinenecha Uvtatam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha laman tiskeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim Eloheim ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzetziechem mi'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Thank you, Jacob. You can take a seat. We'll get you back up here in a minute.
So good to hear Jacob leading us in prayer. We'll continue in our prayer books on page 122 as we offer Michan Locha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילו עושה פלא, נורא תהילו עושה פלא. שירה חדשה שיבחו גאונים, לשמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו
We come now to our Amidah, the central prayers of our service this morning, which will begin on page 124. Please rise if you are able.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר, מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לישני עפר. מי כמוך בר גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך מנהיג ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, הכתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני במקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיהם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד עוד לך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
So now we're going to continue with our own private personal prayers, seated or standing, as is your comfort or custom. The words on the page, or just the meditations of your heart. Our Amidah continues through page 142.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו amen.
Beautiful. This beautiful prayer. Oseh Shalom. Can you hear me? This beautiful prayer, Oseh Shalom. Before we begin our Torah service, I just want to, it struck me, this prayer. Oseh Shalom, make, do peace. Oseh is make or do peace. Bimromav, way up in the heavens. Hu ya'aseh or he ta'aseh, God will do that. Will do the Shalom Aleinu, upon us. It's like the imagery in the prayer is something like God's gonna like whatever. It's like you can hold peace somehow. We can hold it inside. We know we can feel it inside. So the idea is that God is going to place it aleinu upon us, and then our job is like reach up a little bit and bring it down, bring it all the rest of the way down, get it completely down in our midst. And I'm just thinking of all the efforts that we've made to try to create a sense of peace. Shalom is peace, it's wholeness, it's health. It's a deep, abiding love and commitment to our well-being. So from the JP hand sanitizer to the JMP mask to the plexiglass protectors behind each bima and the Torah table, which you out there in the Zoom world haven't seen yet, but you will. From the hours and hours and hours that Barbara, David, Stu, and Greg, Tara, Eli, Vlad have spent to try to create a really rich, wonderful Shabbat experience, and one that is as absolutely safe as it needs to be and can be. Maybe that's all held in this idea of God bringing the shalom aleinu just a little bit right here, and we just reach a little, and with a lot of perseverance and persistence, and we can bring it down. And I feel very grateful, confident that we have done a really beautiful job at this. So we're going to begin our Torah service. Rabbi Tara.
Calling up our ark openers, David and Barbara and Abby, and our bar mitzvah. We rise and turn to page It's been a while.
It's
2:44. Rise if we are able.
אין כמוך באלוהים אדוני ואין כמעשיך מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור אדוני מלך אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני עוזר, אדוני שרך את עמו בשלום, אב הרחמים, היטיבה ברצונך את ציון. תבנה חומות ירושלים, תבנה חומות ירושלים, כי בך לבד בטחנו, מלך אל רם ונישא אדון עולמים. כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך
תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol, Adonai Kadosh.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonai Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai iti, Uneramo Shemo Yachad. Lecha Adonai Hagidol, Elava Hagidol, Torah Tiferet, Ve'anetzach ve'ahod, Ki chov hashamayim v'haaretz, chov hashamayim v'haaretz, Lecha Adonai v'amunacha, Yamid na'aseh lecho oleho. Alleluia, 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 alleluia.
Okay, you guys can sit. Okay.
And now we're beginning the process of aliyot and reading from this incredible Sefer Torah that is so precious to the Podwall family.
Right, exactly. So before we, let's see, let me get my notes here.
So you're reading from a scroll dedicated to your great grandfather. Not very many B'nai Mitzvah who I have ever encountered have had the honor to do that. You can sit down if you want. Sorry, Russ. Almost 16 years ago. It's a Torah that has so much family love in it. Danced into Chavarat Emet Synagogue. Embedded in this Torah are the names of those lost in 9/11 and who live in Suffolk County. This Torah, just by its very existence, is a symbol of how we live through hardship and turn it into a blessing, about the unseverable ties of family. And we feel your great-grandpa Jack's presence with us as you read these verses. And so it is my honor to call up for the first Aliyah. We're reading from the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verse 22. That's where we're starting. Calling up grandparents and Uncle Marcia and Arthur Podwall, along with Eric Podwall. Ya'amdu la'aliyah rishonah.
You know, as you're walking up, Marcia, I'm just wondering if after this, come, after this Aliyah, oh, you're gonna do it from right there. You might share, I don't know, a thought, but how it feels for you. So you're getting off the Aliyah from that table, but you're gonna kiss the Torah. That's right. All these things we take for granted and in the normal course of things, but now we have to rethink them. So thank you, Eric, brother, Uncle Eric. Great, kiss the Torah. Good, awesome. And now you can go back to that table. Wonderful. Okay.
Baruch Hu Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher baka banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Vadaber Adonai El Moshe Lemor Daber El Aharon ve'el banav Lemor Kol tuvarchu et bnei Israel Amor lahem Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yashem lecha shalom V'samu et shemi al b'nei Yisrael, v'ani avarachem.
Beautiful, Jacob.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan v'sofinu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Marcia, we didn't plan this moment, but I don't know, that's okay.
Where do you want me to go?
Stay where you are and just speak into that microphone. Right where you are is fine. You don't have to do anything, I don't think.
You unmuted?
Okay. I guess it's every mother's. I guess it's every mother's dream to see her son bar mitzvah. And then it's every grandmother's dream to see her grandson bar mitzvah. And what is so very special is that during this time of hardship, we are not losing sight of what is truly important, and that is the tradition of this bar mitzvah. And to have my grandson read from a Torah that was dedicated in honor of his great-grandfather, who was an exceptional human being in every way, is such a blessing for all of us. I am so pleased that I was able to bring it here today, and in a few years bring it here for Abby, so that we all can continue this tradition. I want you to know that when the Torah was dedicated, it was dedicated right after 9/11, and the scribe put names in of those who had perished during the 9/11 tragedy. It is odd to me that during that pause in our life, that this Torah is now being used at another difficult time in our society. But it is always a symbol of hope, because the future is beautiful for all of our children. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, you guys can go down. Thank you so much.
And for the second Aliyah, calling up Martha Lowenthal. Oh, you have to unmute yourself to do the blessing before reading Torah. Go ahead, Martha, do it again. Even if you already did it once, now you'll be really good at it.
Thank you. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch atah Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'karbanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Amen.
Vayom kulot Moshe lehakim et hamishkan. Vayimsach oto vaykadesh oto ve'et kol kelav et hamizbeach ve'et kelav. Vayimshachem vaykadesh otam. Vayakrivu nisiyei Yisrael rashei beit avotam. Hein nisiyei hamtot hein ha'omdim al ha'kudim. Vayiviu et korbanam lifnei Adonai. Sheshek lotzav u'shnei asar bakar agala. Al shnei hansim v'shor lechad. Vayakrivu otam lifnei hamishkan.
And calling up for the after blessing, Bill, Linda, and Bethy Lowenthal.
The host muted you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam natan b'tzidkenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Thank you
Beautifully
so
done.
much, Lowenthals.
Okay, for Aliyah number 3, calling up David and Barbara. Ya'amdu bracha v'David asher la'aliyah shlishi.
Great work.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor. Kach meitam ve'hayu avos et avodato et ונתתה אותם אל הלוויים איש כפי עבודתם. ויקח משה את הגלות ואת הבקר וייתן אותם אל הלוויים.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam natan b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Beautiful job. Give your son a ton of love and don't go anywhere.
That's the
Stay
last
where
time you get
are.
to kiss him as a boy.
Yeah.
Okay, he's about to become a man.
Yeah, beautiful smile.
As we call you to Torah now with your beautiful Hebrew name. Ya'amod, 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 Yaakov, Ben David, Bebraka, Habachor, Habar Mitzvah, Chazal.
Et Adonai Hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torah. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Et
shetei hagalot ve'et arba'at habakar natan livnei Gershon kefi avodatam. Ve'et arba hagalot ve'et shemonah habakar natan livnei Merari kefi avodatam ve'yad Itamar ben Ha'aron ha'kohen livnei Kehat lo natan ki avodat hakodesh alehem ve'kateh Yisau. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. So David or Barbara, would you get the Torah cover that?
And now it's kind of like probably do the Podwall.
That's not yet. It will be. It will be. Put it on and actually, yeah, and put the belt. No. Don't. You don't have to put the belt
Just
on.
rest it. There
Put
we
the
go.
belt just next to it so it doesn't slide anywhere. Got it? And now we're good for the moment. Go for it.
And now with the Torah open before us, you guys can take a rest.
Sit for a
You
moment.
would sit up on the bima or on your seats, wherever you like. We are going to offer a prayer for our congregation offered by Jordana Levine. We're on page 258.
Oops, it's me.
We're
My name.
Yay, it's great to see the two of you.
Okay.
At the top. Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us. Love of Torah, devotion in prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy. Baruch atah Adonai, she'ocha levadcha b'yara na'avod. And Mazel Tov, Jacob.
Dan, I didn't mean to leave you out. The Levine family, the incredible Levine family. And now offering a prayer for our nation, your friends, the Rosen family and the Harris family and the Schechner family. Our country needs these prayers so much. Thank you for being here to offer them this morning. We're on page, again, 258.
O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Mazel Tov.
And now we're going to turn to our Misha Berach prayer, a prayer for healing.
We do.
Oh,
We're
sorry. Okay, keep going with the prayer for our
the
nation.
hair, yes.
the Harris family, and the Schechner family. If they're They're there in spirit. We are all muted.
There we go. Ready? Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance.
May they govern with justice and compassion.
Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you.
May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke, share your bread with the hungry, and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness.
Mazel tov, and we love you.
Amen.
And with this prayer for our nation on our lips, we're going to turn to our prayer for healing on 253, the Mishaberach prayer, thinking of all the different kinds of healing that are needed now. We'll move to our prayer for Israel in just a minute, but just thinking about where we are in body and in spirit and community. Bring those names of anyone in need of healing into your heart, into your mind, as we offer the Mishaberach. And if you'd like to put names for healing into the chat, that's a beautiful gesture. We can see those names.
No, yeah, go to Vlad. Go to Vlad.
Mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishemeachimotenu v'kol habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
And the Slobin family will now offer a prayer for the state of Israel on page 259.
O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
And offering those words in song, Avinu Shebashamayim, is on 259 still.
Stu? See this?
Maybe.
259.
Avinu, Avinu, Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'gohalo. Avinu, Avinu, Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'gohalo. Barech, barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit tzmichad geulateinu. Hagein alecha behevrat chazdecha, ufros alecha sukat shlelomecha. Avinu, Avinu, shebashamayim, tzur Yisrael v'gohalo. Avinu, Avinu, shebashamayim, tzur Yisrael v'gohalo. Ushlach orcha v'amitcha לראשיך שריך ויועציך ויועציך ותקני עצה טובה מלפניך ונתן לו שלום מלפניך. אבינו אבינו שבשמיים צור ישראל וגואלו. Avinu, Avinu, Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'gohalo. V'natata shalom ba'aretz, v'simchat olam leyoshveha, v'nomar Amen. Avinu, Avinu, Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'gohalo. Avinu, Avinu, Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'gohalo.
With the words and the voice and the prayer of Avinu Shebashamayim, it feels just something very sweet to had the Slobans offer the prayer for Israel, Melissa and Gary. Gary, to see the talis you're wearing, you bought in Jerusalem. Jacob, for you to have been up here a few moments ago, and you'll be back wearing the talis that your family bought for you in Jerusalem. Melissa, forgive me, this is not really meant to be the Gary show, but I think we all agreed that the highest moment of the trip was Gary standing up and saying, "I'm going to rappel first." So anyway, a very, very just beautifully sweet moment. So we're going to raise the Torah, raise and dress the Torah. So is it Eric, you're going to come up. David, why don't you come up as well? And Barbara and Abby as well to dress the Torah. David, take the Torah cover off.
And when the Torah rises, we do as well.
Bring it down. Beautiful. Yes. All right. David said you are the master of Makbiyah.
I don't know about that.
Don't use your back. Push down. There you go. Get it.
Torah asher samoshna mipnei Yisrael
So David, you're going to hold this down there. Jacob's about to give his Dvar Torah.
Okay, so you want me to do this?
So you guys can walk that. You take it, David. I assume you're going to hold it while Jacob speaks.
Okay.
All right, it's gonna do Haftarah and then speak. So, okay, you're okay taking that down?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Great. Yaakov, Jacob, you're up. Yeah, Jacob's up.
So we're now transitioning to listening to some beautiful verses for our Haftarah. Judges, chapter 13, verses 1 through 5, followed by Jacob's Devar Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bacha binvim tovim v'ertza v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'inve'eh ha'emet v'atzedek. V'hi ish echad mitzorah mimishpachat Adoni ushmo Manoach ve'ishto atkara ve'lo yalada vayera melech Adonai el haisha vayomer eleha hine na'at akara ve'lo yalad Beharid Vayalad Ben Beata Isha Amrina Ve'al Tishti Yain Veheshechar Ve'al Tokelihi Kol Tameh Ki Hinar Hara Ve'alad Ben Umora Lo Ya'eleh Al Rasho Kinetzi Elohim Yeh Hana'ar Min Habaten Vehu Yacher Lehoshiat Ed Yisrael Miyad Plashtim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzor kol haolamim tzadik bechol hadarot ha'el hane'eman ha'omer ve'osei hamadaber umekayeh shekol devra'av emet v'tzedek al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanevi'im ve'al yam hashabat hazeh Shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha ve'linucha lechavod utifared al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umevarchim ota itbarach shimcha benfi kol chai tami le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabat.
Try the getting ready to hear some words of Torah, Devar Torah.
No.
I'm sure it's there. Isn't that it under that paper clip, Jacob?
Oh, I found it.
There you go.
Nice and slow and easy and loud.
Shabbat Shalom. My Torah portion is Nasa. The highlight of my portion is the very well-known priestly benediction. Most of us know it. May God bless you and keep you. May God's countenance shine upon you, and so forth. The preparations for my bar mitzvah have been very unusual. First, Rabbi Meir and I worked together on the bar mitzvah that I shared with Rebecca Slovin in Jerusalem. That was an amazing spiritual adventure, and I am so thankful for that experience. That was back in December. The world was so different back then, and it was only 6 months ago. Then I started writing a second Devar Torah, not about Israel and Hanukkah, but about my Torah portion, which is called Naso. And then the world exploded with the coronavirus. For the last 2 months, Rabbi Meir and I have talked about what we are feeling during this pandemic. I've been feeling sad because I can't see my friends anymore. I'm feeling bored because all stores are closed and the restaurants are closed. Lastly, I'm feeling frustrated because there's so much I don't know about the situation. When will this end? When will school open back up? When will we be able to see our friends again and go out with them? Will I or will anyone in my family get sick from this virus? If so, what will it be like and how serious will it be? In my conversations with Rabbi Meir, we talked about two other big subjects, two questions. Things are so bad for so many people. People don't have jobs. They are sick. Some people are dying. It's all over the world. The first question is something like, can there be a blessing in a time when things are so bad? Is it possible for blessings to happen at the same time terrible things are happening? Can there be a blessing that happens in a time like this? Related to this is the feeling of not knowing, feeling so confused. What do we do during these times? So, the other big question we have talked about is, should we acknowledge things that we don't know, or is it better to pretend to know or to avoid saying that we don't know something? And many times, I think people avoid saying so when they don't know something. In school, most of our education is about proving that we know things. Almost never do we talk about the importance of not knowing or being open about what we don't know. In our conversations, I realized a few new things. On one hand, we don't acknowledge very easily things that we don't know. On the other hand, we shouldn't pretend that we know things that we don't know. I, of course, have learned that I should never mislead other people or myself. In trying to understand this subject, Rabbi Meir taught me an interesting blessing that I've never known before. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Baruch nafeshot rabot v'chesronon. Blessed are you, Lord our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of us living things and all that we lack. When I learned this, it seemed to me that many people will likely be surprised by this blessing. Most of us haven't thought about the blessings within the things that we don't know or that we don't have. Here are some of the reasons for the surprising blessings. A, if we have everything, we would be very spoiled. B, if you knew everything, you would never be able to experience the feeling of learning something new. C, if you think you can know everything, then it's like you are God. D, if you pretend that you know something that you really don't, then you are being dishonest. E, if you are honest about something you don't know, people will see you as a better person. But if you pretend that you know something and lie about it, then people won't trust you. I think that this blessing over what we lack, what we don't know or have, helps us in a real way. It helps answer my two questions. First, surely there can be blessings even during really hard or bad times. Second, admitting things that we don't know is really important and can benefit us in many ways. So as I conclude my discussion of the priestly blessing, I realize one last thing. You wouldn't need to have any relationships with anyone if you had everything or knew everything. The fact that there is a lot that I lack on my own means that I can look forward to many special relationships in my life. And speaking about relationships, I want to talk about one of the important responsibilities of becoming a bar mitzvah. This moment means that I am expected to take more responsibility for people in the world who are less fortunate than I. Whether or not I know these people personally, it is important that I strengthen my relationship and my connection to people beyond my inner circle. And that is the focus of my Mitzvah project. I am feeling very fortunate during this pandemic that I have an abundance of food. Through my mom's baking, cooking, and ordering in, I am never hungry. I sadly learned that there are over 150 families in Great Neck alone who struggled to get food. For my bar mitzvah project, I held a food drive on my birthday at my house. I had friends drop off food, and my family and I donated it to the St. Aloysius Food Pantry for families who are in need. And after my bar mitzvah, I hope to continue to help people who are in need and aren't as lucky or fortunate as I am. Another aspect of my preparation for this moment was to speak with my grandparents about their experiences of their Jewish upbringings, of their bar or bat mitzvahs. My grandpa's bar mitzvah was in 1956. He lived in Syosset with not many other Jews, and he attended a conservative temple called Midway Jewish Center. However, the synagogue was not built yet. The Jewish center had a barn in the back of the property, so my grandpa and his friends built a bima out of stall dividers. On the bar mitzvah day, it snowed, so he had his bar mitzvah in a barn with an Orthodox rabbi. They called his service a barn mitzvah. My grandma, who lives here, spent years studying Hebrew and Judaism, but was not given the opportunity of a bat mitzvah. My grandma, who lives in Florida, had her bat mitzvah at the age of 37. She grew up in an Orthodox community, so she wasn't able to have a bat mitzvah. When she was older, she started attending a class. She felt that she wanted to know Hebrew because her father knew it very well. She thought that a bar or bat mitzvah is very important and everyone should have it. Now I would like to thank everyone who made today possible. I feel so honored to be making history today. The first Zoom bar mitzvah ever at Temple Beth-El. First, I would like to thank my mom and dad. I love you guys so much. Dad, I love our daily car rides to school, and we would talk about, Dad, in our daily car ride together as you take me to school, I love as we talk about what the day will bring, or the fact that you write out Post-it notes, put it on your dashboard so as to quiz me before an upcoming test. I love Father and Sunday at camp, especially when we played a bunch of sports together. I so enjoyed doing many fun activities with you on vacation, like touring a World War II era aircraft carrier in Charleston, tubing in Aruba, parasailing in Grand Cayman, even rappelling down a cliff in Israel. It was a lot of fun. I love you so much, and you're the best father I could have ever wished for. Mom, thank you for always being there for me. You help me on homework when I need it. If I have a problem with a close friend, you help me resolve it. It might not seem like it, but you are also the way more adventurous parent than Dad is. I like climbing up and down the Sada with you. Going fast on a jet ski in Grand Cayman with you is great. I love your cooking and everything you do for me. Thank you for being the best mom, and I wouldn't know what to do without you. I love you. Next, I would like to thank my sister Abby. I love playing basketball in the backyard with you, even though we get very competitive. I love throwing around a football with you. I also really love playing in the pool with you. Even though we fight a lot, I still love you. You are the best sister I could ever have, and the best playmate I could ever ask for. I love you so much. I would now like to thank Rabbi Meir. You have done so much for me over these past few years preparing for my bar mitzvah. I love sitting in your office and talking about many interesting topics with you to help write my Devar Torah. You helped me with my Israel bar mitzvah and picked the best activities to do there to make sure that I had the best time. It was so fun versing you in basketball, the Hagoshrim kibbutz, and later getting lost for an hour trying to find our way back to the hotel. You aren't just any boring old rabbi. You're very cool, and sometimes you can be very funny. Thank you so much for everything you have done. Thank you, Rabbi Tara, for being with me today and for teaching me a lot about Judaism. I loved our time together in Israel and singing with you in the bus. Lastly, I would like to thank Cantor Flad. You have done so much to help me learn all of the Hebrew I needed to learn for my Israel bar mitzvah and for today's bar mitzvah. I liked Zooming with you and going to your office to learn my Torah portion and my Haftorah. You have the best candy in your office. Learning the Hebrew you need to learn can be very difficult and stressing at times, but you were always patient and calm with me, so I was never stressed. My family and I have loved your singing and your voice these past few years. You and Rabbi Mobaum will be greatly missed. I hope we can stay in touch after you move. Cleveland is so lucky to have you. Best of luck, and thank you so much. Thank you to all my friends and family who joined me remotely to share this very meaningful day. I love you all. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Mazel tov, mazel tov,
Mazel tov and cinnamon.
mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov. Yeilanu, 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 ulechol Yisrael. Yeilanu, yeilanu,
ולכל ישראל. יהי לנו, ולכל ישראל.
Page 256 towards the bottom.
כי לקח טוב נתתי לכם תורתי, אל תעזובו את חייכי. מה חזיתם בה ותומכיה מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה, קדש ימינו כקדם.
Shabbat Shalom. Jacob.
Hold on a second. I'll take that.
Jacob, no words can describe how proud I am of you today on becoming a bar mitzvah. You did an amazing job. I enjoyed sitting down with you several times each week, practicing your Hebrew portions. You never gave me aggravations, haha. You've always persevered at everything that you do, and you strive to succeed in just about everything. This became evident as early as when you were 1.5 years old. We quickly moved you from a crib to a toddler bed when I walked into your room to find you climbing out of your crib, lying on top of the railing. A toddler bed gave you the freedom to not stay in your bed and come to our room every night. Then came the gate to the door of your room. That gate was no obstacle for you. You would climb over the gate to come to us. Then came the gate on top of the gate. And again, you found a way to catapult yourself over 2 gates. At this moment, we realize we have a very motivated and persistent son. I have several key words that come to my mind when I think of you, Jacob. Motivated and driven, adventurous and athletic, musically talented, and kind and sensitive. Your motivation to succeed has been most evident academically. You work very hard, and it shows in your report cards every quarter in middle school, making the honor roll every time. You keep this up, and hopefully you'll be going to Michigan one day.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do you work and study hard, but you have a huge zest for adventure. Nothing excites you more than going on the craziest, scariest roller coasters, and no one could ever pay me enough to go on with you. We just bought a bike for you, and you easily ride up and down the hills in our neighborhood, sometimes standing up as you fly down the hills and working on your Papa Wheelie every moment you can. At camp, you quickly learned how to water ski and showed off this amazing talent on a lake at the Sagamore. Now you're proficient at wakeboarding. Nothing excites you, Jacob, more than doing, and I have never seen you shy away from anything. From parasailing in the Cayman Islands to catapulting down a cliff in Israel, I don't think the word fear exists in your mental dictionary. To round out your talents, you've always been musically talented. This started as early as also you were 1.5 years old, singing and performing for us. You quickly would memorize any song you would hear on the radio and sing it for us on your toy microphone. The best is when you would sing country music, which you learned from Pa in the backseat of my car. Now you regularly play piano and saxophone, and you have natural ability to learn the keys, rhythms, and fingering with amazing passion and precision. Even more importantly than all your talents, Jacob, you are a great friend, brother, son, and grandson. You are kind and sensitive. Abby has always looked up to her big brother. You have always made her laugh until recent when you have a way of making her cry. But overall, you have a soft spot in your heart for your sister. You are now each other's best friends during this pandemic. You were so nice, including Abby, in your fortnight playing with your friends, encouraging her to be with you. You are sensitive and feel sad when you say or do anything that hurts others, and you learn from those mistakes. You are sensitive to children with different disabilities and challenges of all kinds, befriending them as they are. Originally, you were going to blend two of your talents into a bar mitzvah project this spring, your love of baseball and your desire to work with kids of different abilities. You signed up to be a buddy through the League of Yes, cheering on a child with disabilities as they hit the ball and run or wheelchair or ride the bases. This was supposed to be your Saturday morning activity this spring. Unfortunately, like everything else, this season needed to be canceled. It is clearly an activity that you will look to doing as soon as the season can resume. You thought hard about what you are thankful for during this pandemic. You are thankful for all the meals I have been cooking for you, and especially all the baking, like my banana bread. You heard that there are more than 100 families who are less fortunate than you and felt a drive to help them. You decided to have a drive-by food drive on your birthday, successfully filling your garage with food you delivered to the St. Aloysius Food Pantry. I hope this is just beginning, Jacob, of your desire and drive to help others less fortunate than you. Today isn't how we would ever imagine your bar mitzvah would look like, Jacob. It's sad that Grandma and my mom could not travel up here from Florida, but the tali she brought you from Israel is wrapped around you today, so you feel her presence and love. Uncle Billy, my brother, and Linda and Bethy could not travel from California due to the risk of catching COVID-19, and they wish all their hearts that they could be here today, and they're so proud of you. You also know that Florida Pa, Uncle Stephen, and all of your great-grandparents are looking down on you today. They are with us and also so proud. It's sad we can't feel free to give warm hugs to families such as grandparents, Cousin Will, Uncle Eric, and Aunt Barbara, who are with us today beaming with joy. It's completely unnatural. In addition, we had to learn to social distance with our devoted, I'm sorry. And we have to also learn to social distance with our devoted, warm, and huggy clergy, Rabbi Mara and Rabbi Tara, also so unnatural. We could not share your service with a packed room of friends and family due to strict social distancing regulations. Also sad, but in a way made more introspective. There were no distractions and always focused on you and becoming a bar mitzvah. Completely focused on the service, the music, and your Torah readings, the most important aspect of today. We are lucky that we were able to have your service inside our synagogue, which to me feels like my second home. This is the first service inside the temple open to congregants since the quarantine back in March. This is the first B'nai Mitzvah in a long time since Gabby and Adina's that has been held in the main sanctuary. And 2020 marks the 50th anniversary of the main sanctuary. So despite unforeseen restrictions we had for today, I feel truly blessed and thankful that you were able to come a bar mitzvah inside my second home. Big thank you to Stu Botwinick, Rabbi Tara, Rabbi Meir, Cantor Vlad, and Rabbi Mulbaum for making today happen. We will miss you so much, Vlad and Ellie. Jacob, I'm beaming with pride and joy today. You have made Daddy and I so proud and hope this is just the beginning of your Jewish journey and that you continue to embrace and value your religion and its traditions as Daddy and I and all of your grandparents do. I love you so much. Mazel tov.
Yeah, it's good. That's always tough to come on after my wife. There are times in one's life that you never forget, like your wedding, the day his child is born. But there's another day that remains quite vivid to me, and that was the day after Jacob was born. It was on that day that my beloved grandmother, Mildred, came to the hospital. She sat on the chair and held her great-grandchild, who is named after her late husband, Jack. Today, Jacob, you read from the Torah that was dedicated to him. Today, you fulfilled the mitzvah of the bar mitzvah, And today you brought such joy and pride to your mom and myself. I want to say a few words about what has made your mother and I very proud of you and what we hope you take from this day. At your age, your main role is that being a student, and we take great nachas in your making honor roll. But what was even more impressive is your seriousness as a student and your drive to succeed. My future Cornellian. That drive to succeed is shown in many other areas, such as athletics. When you play Little League, you take it very personally when you don't make the play or hit that you thought you should. Instead of blowing it off, you work harder to be better the next time. We see that in your tennis game and when you made the first school team you ever tried out for, that being volleyball. It is difficult for anyone to believe that my son, who has my genetics, would be such a good all-around athlete. Another part of your personality that your mom and I find so endearing is she's mentioned your love of adventure and trying new experiences. You surprised us when you tried out for the 5th grade play Peter Pan and got the role of Captain Hook. When we went on our first whitewater rafting trip in Jackson Hole and on the very frigid Snake River, the guide said at one point that we can have someone stand at the top of the front of the boat and we spin around until that person falls off. Who wants to try? Jacob's hand first in the air. That spirit can even rub off on me. When we were in Grand Cayman, he convinced me to go parasailing with him. Anyone who knows me knows that if I am that high in the air, it better be business class. It was simply amazing. Another side of Jacob is his curiosity. I saw it as a 2-year-old when we were in Arizona. He never saw a cactus before and wanted to explore, and we had to teach him the phrase, look, no touch. Just a few months ago, we listened to delight with the great questions he was asking our Israeli tour guide and Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Tara, as we were touring in Israel. In a world that most answers can be found easily on a Google search, success will be bestowed on those who ask the best questions. What we take most pride in is watching you develop the relationships with the people that mean the most to us in our lives. Both your mom and I were extremely close to our grandparents, and you're blessed to be in that same situation. Well, every weekend as a teenager, I used to go to shul with my grandfather. You either play or watch baseball with yours. I spent many weekends at my grandparents' house, and you do at yours. Swimming, playing chess, riding horses. In between being fed constantly, you have discussions about school and history, politics, science, and sports. Also, if I know it was up to you, you would make it a monthly requirement to visit Florida Grandma, and now Stu, making our usual trips to Disney or the beach. You have a very special and fun relationship with my brother Eric, forming a very close bond with him, especially in our family trips, and especially when he gets us the VIP treatment at the Fontainebleau. Having both of your cousins, Will and Beth-El, on the East Coast has allowed you to create a closer bond to them, as well as Uncle Billy and Aunt Linda. The most special bond to watch is the one between you and Abby. Your mom and I were always most excited when we got the picture of the two of you together at sibling time at camp. While you've perfected the big brother technique of annoying your sister in a way that slowly pushes her over the edge, you know that of all the people you know now, she is the one who will always be with you in your life. So Jacob, what does your mom and I hope you take from this day? Your working on bar mitzvah did not come easy here and in Israel. It took time, took practice. And that made it all the more rewarding. Success is not about finding shortcuts or accomplishing the easy. No, it is about accepting and overcoming the inevitable challenges and adversities that come your way. As parents, we will always be on your side, cheering you on, but the will and determination to rise, to overcome, to thrive comes from within you. We want you to realize that life is not just the destination, but the journey to get there. Do not be afraid to go in unknown directions, experience the unexpected, and take some chances. I would be remiss not to mention those who started this journey with you 13 years ago today, but unfortunately cannot be here with us at this time, such as your Uncle Marvin, your Uncle Stephen, and of course, your Grandpa Bill. Finally, Jacob, I want you to know that, as you do know, that Judaism is very central to our family. It provides us a moral framework to help us guide our lives. We hope that you carry on our traditions, one day creating a Jewish home of your own. The future of Judaism itself depends on kids like you. Your mom and dad fervently wish that you develop the same love and appreciation for all that Judaism has to offer. In a time when we've seen friends suffer from the loss of loved ones, loss of employment, as well as the consequences of just not being able to be together, you yourself has lost the ability to be at school, join the school baseball team, take that bar mitzvah Italy trip that was postponed, camp has been canceled, and your party's been pushed to either November 1st or May 23rd on your 14th birthday. Despite all of this, you continue preparing for your bar mitzvah, even when it was not clear when it was going to happen. So today, you've accomplished much, and it provides some hope to all of those witnessing your bar mitzvah today that we will overcome these challenging times. So now I close by thanking the one person my wife did not mention, and that, of course, is her. For anyone who knows Barbara, she's a consummate planner, everything done far in advance to the smallest detail. While those plans derailed, she rose to the occasion and put such love and care into everything she does for today and the celebration yet to come. Barbara, I love you so much. You're an amazing daughter, daughter-in-law, mother, and wife. And putting a ring on your finger was the best decision I ever made. So Jacob, now we have something in common, that today will be one of those days that we will both, and the three of us, will cherish. Today is another step, a very important one, in you taking on the roles and responsibilities of being a man in the Jewish faith. Today is another step in that journey. The journey is yours. Enjoy each and every step. Your mom and dad love you very much. Shabbat Shalom.
So as if there wasn't enough symbolism and emotion here, now I'm going to ask that your parents wrap you in the talit that was the chuppah for the Torah that you read from as it was processed into the synagogue of your great grandparents, and then a year later became your parents' wedding canopy. It is a talit with so much love and symbolism. So they'll wrap you in it, and then they will go to their seats as Rabbi Meir blesses you. It's a big one.
Well, just be comfortable. You guys can stand or go, whichever you prefer. Jacob, you can, yes, yeah. So you can just stay somewhere. You can stand by the podium, Jacob. So, wow, Jacob, you know, I love your mom and dad. It just occurred to me that you live with two extraordinary rabbis. Rabbi Barbara, Rabbi David. It's a privilege to get to be the third rabbi in a morning to bless you. Both of you are really extraordinary people. I feel so grateful, and you're an inspiration. So here's my blessing, Jacob. It's been a while, so to remind you and others who are watching, Tara and I, we have this custom with Rabbi Molbaum as well, that we give a gift after I speak to you. We're going to do a Leinu Kaddish, and then Gary's going to speak to you as your family friend and president, give you a gift from the synagogue. In addition, we clergy, we rabbis have the custom of giving a gift, which is a verse from your Torah portion because it travels lightly. So let me share with you my blessing. I've loved the time that we spent together, Jacob, these last many months. We first wrote a Devar Torah in preparation for our Israel trip, that, in preparation for December. It was about Hanukkah and hatred, the hatred of anti-Semitism, but also the hatred of Jew against Jew. We agreed that the hatred of Jew against Jew is almost maybe equally as dangerous as anti-Semitism. And when we returned from Israel, we immediately started working on your Devar Torah for today. A lot of wonderful time together we've had. With the priestly blessing to guide us, we've asked a straightforward question. What's a blessing? That's our question. The verse I give you is the verse that immediately precedes the priestly blessing, and you chanted all of it beautifully. And it goes like this: Daber el ha'aron ve'el banav. I could have you chant it right now. Lemor ko tivarchu et bnei Yisrael amor lahem. So speak to Aaron and his sons, thus you shall bless. Ko tivarchu. It's you hear in tivarchu the word bracha. So I ask here again, what is a blessing? And I want to share a great insight by Rabbi Benny Friedman of Jerusalem, who learned this idea from his rabbi, Rabbi Yosef Soloveitchik, the Rav. Rav Soloveitchik, who was the head of the Orthodox world in the 20th century. Your cantor father, no doubt, was connected to him. I would almost bet some pennies and shekels on that. Rav Soloveitchik points out that we often associate blessing Jacob with gratitude, some form of appreciation. But the Rav wasn't satisfied with that understanding. Blessing, says Rav Soloveitchik, is always about increasing something. So Jacob, this idea definitely relates to you and to this moment, and let me explain. First, as we know, when God blesses Abraham, God increases Abraham's wealth, and in so doing increases God's presence in Abraham's life. Second, when human beings bless each other, the priestly example is just the priestly blessing is just one example. Our goal is precisely what Rav Soloveitchik said. The blessing moment is all about increasing something. From a Jewish perspective, violence is a radical absence of God's presence. Peace, on the other hand, shalom, points to God's presence in the world. When we bless each other, we strive to increase in each other the ingredients of peace. And in so doing, we also we increase God's presence in the world. Finally, in this opening part, what about when we bless God? And this happens in Torah a number of times. Blessing is not simply expressing gratitude. Rather, when we bless God, we strive to increase God's presence in the world. I'm thinking, Jacob, of this day in modern Jewish history. This week, 53 years ago, we were fighting in Israel's 6-day war. Today, June 6th, 53 years ago, was the final day in Jewish history, God willing, that we Jews were without control of the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. We prayed, sang, and danced there together. We did, with the Slobans, on December 25th. Tomorrow, June 7th, 1967, Moti Gore, the 10th Chief of Staff of the IDF, he stood on the Temple Mount, declared these 3 words in Hebrew, Har Habayit Biyadenu. Har Habayit Biyadenu. The Temple Mount is in our hands. Those 3 words, Jacob, 53 years ago, announced to the world that we are back. And we can now pray and weep and sing and dance in our most sacred place. Blessing happened that day, tomorrow, 53 years ago. As on that day, we increased the security of Jerusalem, and we increased the ability to worship in the place deemed holy by probably 4 billion people around the world. We fulfilled the dream for 30 centuries that our people have been dreaming. We enabled the world to openly pray at the site of the temple. We increased the divine truth that every human being is a reflection of God and deserving of God's love and grace. We began a process that, God willing, will bring a greater sense of God's presence into our world. It might well be that on June 7th, 1967, we blessed God. And your parents have blessed you. Their blessings, their words to you earlier, so beautifully, profoundly describe this. Just my humble, modest attempt as well. This one is easy. They've given you life. Beyond that, everything they do for you is to increase your knowledge and curiosity, your level of achievement. Everything they do for you is to grow your heart and soul, your talent and your ability to build a life of meaning and purpose. The Torah you read from this morning was a blessing offered by your grandparents to increase joy and passion and goodness for a whole community, to deepen the love and devotion to Judaism of generations that follow. That's you, Jacob, and your awesome sister, Abby, as well. The last question this morning, Jacob, is, what are you going to bless? In what ways will you choose to increase goodness, to enhance knowledge, to grow the well-being of the world? Small challenge, no pressure. The awesome thing is that you are a young man with so many extraordinary qualities. And we all know, every person here and watching on Zoom knows for sure that this moment is just the next big step in a life that will continually and constantly bless the world. And so, Jacob, here is my blessing for you. May this moment be a genuine blessing that is only just beginning. May this blessing inspire you, cause you to increase your kindness and generosity with others throughout your life. May you think of this bar mitzvah experience every time the Torah comes out of the ark. Before I close, I want to ask your mom and dad to come over to you. Abby, go and be with them if you would. And you're gonna put the talit over Jacob's head, just the atarab. No, David, wait. The what? Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. And so I'm going to conclude. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to conclude. I'm going to ask everyone to rise, and then Cantor Vlad will sing the priestly blessing. Okay? Yep, great. I'm going to finish last couple sentences. May you think of this bar mitzvah experience every time the Torah comes out of the ark, Jacob. May you and I and Rabbi Tara and as well Cantor Vlad and Rabbi Molbaum have many opportunities in the coming years to learn and grow and have fun together. May your Judaism always push you to become a kinder, wiser, and more courageous human being. May you feel tremendously proud to be a Jew. And may you know that there are very few paths in life, if any, that will feed your soul as much as your Jewish path. Cantor Vlad, priestly blessing.
Yavarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Amen. Amen.
Okay, we're now going to face the ark, offering Aleinu, and remaining standing 282.
Stay with it.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם,
וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, שמו אחד.
And you guys can sit down too, all the way. Taking a moment for memory, as we always do. Mentioning names that are so beloved in the Podwall family, whose presences are here. You can all sit, it's fine. Thinking of these names: William Lowenthal, Stephen Lowenthal, Martin and Francione Rotter, Bertha Schlossman, Jack and Mildred Melzer, and Marvin Heckman. And all those who we name in our hearts. If there's a name you're thinking of, feel free to rise and say that name wherever you are. May their memories be a blessing. You're welcome also to write those names in the chat. The Mourner's Kaddish is on 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayachon u'vyomechon u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shemei dekudsha
Brichu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran v'yama v'yimru
Amen.
amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who creates peace and harmony on high bring that peace to us, to all Israel, and to all humankind. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. We say one last time, amen. And you may be seated, unless you're Gary Slobin, which I guess you could be talking to us seated. We won't ever know.
Yay, Gary.
So Gary, a few words to our bar mitzvah.
Okay, now I'm unmuted. Shabbat Shalom. I guess I'm doing a virtual presentation. It's a unique and beautiful service. Jacob, amazing job. Knocked it out of the park for the second time. First time I personally witnessed it in Israel, and you did it again. So beautiful job and mazel tov. I know how important it was for the Podwalls to have this service at the synagogue. This could not have happened without the rabbis, the cantor, and I think most importantly, our executive director, Stu Botwinick, who I see running around over there with a camera. So thank you to all of you for making this happen. Of course, their vision and the vision of the Podwalls, who, especially Barbara, who envisioned this whole thing and put it all together. And we as a congregation are grateful that we've been able to experience this today, especially having your family Torah presented and read from in the sanctuary is really touching and beautiful. Again, rabbis and cantor, thank you for the service. Thank you for educating, teaching our children, for your leadership, and of course, for this beautiful service. Jacob, you know, you and I have the same tallis, different color, but what's funny is we bought We bought this tallis. You bought yours
Okay, it's
first.
still on. It's just his computer. So they're still.
I can't see anything except myself, so I don't know. I'm assuming everything is good technically there. So you bought your tallis, I don't know, a week or so before I bought mine. I don't think I even saw it. You bought it in a different city, but I guess we have the same taste. Yours is blue, mine is black. Jacob, you have really an amazing family. I think our families will be bonded for our lifetimes over this trip. It was an incredible trip that I can't imagine sharing with anybody other than your family. I got to know you personally during this trip. I didn't know you that well before. So I learned a lot of things about you. I learned that you do not like Middle East hot dogs. In fact, I don't think you like Middle East food at all. But I also learned a lot of great things about you. I learned that you are a bright, energetic, intellectually curious young man. I enjoyed sharing a lot of experiences with you, including climbing Masada, rappelling from a cliff wall, which has been mentioned many times, but it really was a unique experience. And also, I think most memorable for me was wrapping tefillin with you and your father and praying at the hotel. That's certainly something I will never forget. Your parents are really wonderful people, very special. Wilbur Wright, one of the Wright brothers, was once asked, how did you become a success? What advice would you give to someone to become a success? And he said, if I were giving a young man advice as to how he might succeed in life, I would say to him, pick out a good father and mother and begin your life in Ohio. Well, you didn't get the Ohio part, you got the Great Neck, but you got a great father and mother. And I hope you appreciate them and cherish them. You also have a wonderful little sister. Abby is smart and beautiful and fun to be around. I have a younger sister whose relationship is one of the closest relationships in my life. And I would suggest to you that you work on your relationship with your sister. It's always work, but I assure you that if you do work at it, it is a relationship you will cherish, and she will be one of the closest people to you for the rest of your life. So I think you should focus on your sister. I know sometimes it's hard when they're younger. I'm presenting you with a gift, a virtual gift, which I don't have, but I assume the rabbis have there. And in there is a copy of the Chumash, the Jewish Book of Why, which answers a lot of your questions about Judaism, which I'm sure you're really curious about. There's a certificate for a tree planting in Israel and a Kiddush cup, as well as a letter that you wrote to yourself in 6th grade during the retreat. So it's always interesting to read how your life has moved along since you wrote that letter and see how your life has changed and what kind of person you are now compared to what you were then. Our Shema for our synagogue is inspire through purpose and be known by love. And I wish you a life of purpose filled with love. Mazel tov and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. One person who did not, that was so beautiful, Gary. Thank you.
Gary, that was amazing. So just
okay, I'm going to go down on my knees so we have the right angle. Just want to really also thank Greg Botwinick, who is the magic behind us being able to be virtually together in new ways. The connection is authentic no matter how we get it. So thank you so much, Greg.
If we thought we were lucky with one Botwinick, we're 2.5 times lucky with two.
Our cup runneth over. So we are now going to conclude with whatever Cantor Lappin decides. And then we will do Kiddush and Motzi outside. And I know they're, okay.
Oh.
Okay, so, okay.
Oh.
עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Shabbat Shalom all. We will, the final message from Barbara and David is 12:45 outside. I did that right? 12:45. Shabbat Shalom. Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. You guys are. Jacob, you want to do it again? You look like you want to sit. Will, thank you. You were great. You were great. Wow, it was such a perfect. What do you do for a living?
I work for a medic.
Oh yeah, you told me that. In technology or writing or sales? Yeah.
Okay, Barb.
What am I doing?
You wanted to say hello to everyone?
No, if anyone wants
Okay.
to say any comments, if anyone's still on.
Is anyone still on, or is the Zoom off? The Zoom is off.
Doesn't sound right. Okay.
Okay.
No, you're on.
What?
You're on right now. People are saying hi to you.
Saying hello. People are saying hello.
Why are you put on gallery view?
Can we put on gallery view?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Okay. Look at all these people here.
Hey guys. Oh, hello. Where are we?
Can they hear us?
There's the Weissmans.
Mom.
We can hear
Hi,
you.
everybody.
Hi, Mazel Tov.
Yahoo!
Yahoo!
Hi, Missy. Hi, April.
Hello, Mazel Tov.
Wait, I that's the wrong thing.
Let's see who's here.
Mazel tov!
Why is it?
Hi, guys. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Jordan and Stan. Lisa.
Abby. Hi, David. Hi, Barbara.
Harris's. Hi, Billy, Bethy,
Great job.
The Hymans are there.
Hi,
Stan and Sue.
Beautiful speeches.
You're right. I'm not.
The Blooms.
Always there. Hi.
Ina.
Hello.
Okay.
Go back.
Hey, Mike.
Hi, Missy. Love you.
Tracy DeAngelis is here. DeAngelis. Yay!
Hey, Tracy.
The Feldmans.
Oh,
And
hi,
Dwight.
Jean and Mark.
Dwight
Bernstein.
Rosenstein is there.
Hi.
And the
Hey, Richie.
Weissmans.
And there's
Wonderful.
Laura. Hi, Laura.
Thanks, everyone,
Hi,
for being with
Weissmans.
us.
Weissmans are
All
here.
right.
There's Weissmans.
Helen, do you hear, see me?
Hi, Marsh.
Hi, Steph.
Oh, now you get to see everyone. There's
Yes.
God and his.
Thank
Okay. We'll see you soon. Let's go.
We have time. We have to wait though. 12:45. 12:45.
Oh, I see Richie Blank. Okay.
That's gonna do that surface for us.
See the blanks as well. Let me see.
Hi, Feldmans. Hi, Dwight.
Hi.
Hi, Olga. Who else is here? Debbie Bernstein. Billy, Linda, Bethy.
And the Dorf.
Hey there.
Mike.
Miss you guys.
And the Dorfmans.
Mazel tov, Jacob. Bye.
And the Tox.
See ours.
Thank you. The Eshkovs and Polakars. Thank you so much. Everyone be
Whoever the active speaker.
Hey, Grant.
So, and okay, let's enjoy the day. Thank you so much. I'm gonna leave.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Guys.
Everybody.
Bye, Will.